I know what happened.
Okay, wasn't you just talking to her? Can she provide all them information to you?
Well, let me ask you this. I was just talking to her. What if she told me that you beat the out of her and you jumped on top of her and started punching her in the face? Should I just go ahead and take that?
Okay, but don't you know?
It's your side of the story. Give your side.
All these prescriptions, but you want to be great. Being great is really pushing the envelope. You know what I'm saying?
Gervonta Tank Davis has finally broken his silence following reports of his arrest and the apparent collapse of his highly anticipated fight with Jake Paul. The undefeated lightweight champion is now at the center of a new civil lawsuit filed in Miami-Dade County, alleging multiple serious offenses, including battery, aggravated battery.
He's a lightweight. So, by all means, if they make a few quid and nobody gets hurt, then great. But I certainly wouldn't be paying a penny to watch it. I think it's just absolutely ridiculous, farcical. Who wants to watch an exhibition? Gervonta Davis is in his prime years. Why is he wasting his time? Why is he having a rematch with the fella he got a draw with? Why is he not fighting? Why is he not going up a weight and fighting Lopez and Garcias and them fighters? Why is he fighting Jake Paul in an exhibition? I get the money's great, but he's in the prime years. This is his best year. This is where he can become. Maybe you don't want to be an all-time great. Maybe you don't want to do all that stuff. Maybe you just want
false imprisonment, kidnapping, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. The accusations, if proven true, could have devastating consequences for both his career and public image. So far, the case remains a civil action, with no new criminal charges connected to this complaint. Still, the timing couldn't be worse, coming just
WBC lightweight world champion Gervonta Tank Davis was arrested earlier this week for closed fist slapping his daughter's mother. What's a closed fist slap? Is it like this? Bro, you can't be closed fist slapping women. You can't be slapping women at all. But don't you know your hand is like Thor's hammer? Bro, you can go to jail for even flicking somebody, man. Don't you got a fight coming up? Or are you trying to ruin your career?
Weeks before the scheduled November 14th fight that was set to headline Jake Paul's latest pay-per-view event, Davis himself hasn't released a direct statement yet, but his inner circle has offered brief, cautious updates. His longtime coach, Calvin Ford, told reporters that Davis is doing great and that they're still figuring out what's going on. The measured response seems designed to keep Tank out of the media spotlight while legal and promotional teams handle damage control behind the scenes. Meanwhile, Jake Paul's most valuable promotions confirmed that it has launched an internal investigation into the allegations. Their official statement emphasized that the organization condemns any form of violence and that it will gather all relevant information before making any final decisions. This means the fight technically remains on the books, but insiders suggest that cancellation is now the most likely outcome. Boxing reporter Dame Mart added fuel to the speculation on X, formerly Twitter, writing, "I'm hearing it's being postponed. Not sure on the date, but I'm about 80% certain the November 14th event is cancelled." The fight was originally set for Atlanta State Farm Arena, later moved to Miami, in what promoters called a
making. When a fairly novice Jake Paul made a wish list of future opponents, and right in the middle of that list was Gervonta Tank Davis. Many laughed at the time, and some still can't believe we're here. But these two young men are the face of boxing for Gen Z and Gen Alpha. They are the two biggest boxers in America, and they are putting it all on the line. One has the speed, the skill, the accuracy, and the one-punch knockout power. The other has the size, the force, and the unbreakable confidence to make this must-see Netflix. The size difference is
perfect collision of worlds, a viral influencer versus a world champion boxer. The setup promised a spectacle. Davis, a natural lightweight who usually fights around 135 to 140 pounds, taking on Jake Paul, who has been competing closer to cruiserweight. The fight contract reportedly included a 195-pound limit and 12-ounce gloves, rules that raised eyebrows among purists but generated huge buzz online. Still, the matchup divided.
Watch is Tank Davis versus Jake Paul. I want Tank Davis to knock his block off. I'm sick of the Paul brothers, both of them. I can't stand either one of them. And I know I'll get pounded with emails. You're just jealous. No, I'm not jealous of them. I could care less how much money they make. I don't like their attitude. I don't like the way they conduct themselves. I don't like the way they think, you know.
The boxing community. Critics accused Davis of chasing money instead of competition, saying he sidestepped elite names like Shocker Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez to cash in on the social media spectacle. Originally, Davis was expected to run it back with Lamont Roach, following their controversial draw, a rematch that would have reinforced his championship.
He wasn't gonna ever fight no Shakur Stevenson, no Keyshawn Davis, no Teofimo Lopez, no none of them dudes. You know what I'm talking about? We gotta think and look at Tank Davis's whole career. He done made some bread, but at the end of the day, all that bread that he made, when it's all said and done, he ain't gonna get no respect from his peers, because we gonna look down his resume and we gonna be like, he was trash, he was some trash, he was some trash, he was alright, but he was never like that. He was okay, he was some trash, he was some trash.
But when the Jake Paul offer came in, reportedly worth around $50 million, priorities shifted overnight. Even commentators like Stephen A. Smith have pointed out the changing landscape of modern boxing, where crossover events and celebrity matchups now generate more attention and money than traditional title fights. For Davis, the Paul bout wasn't just about competition. It was about expanding his global reach, tapping into an audience far beyond hardcore boxing fans. Now, though, that entire plan is on shaky ground.
He's in a division where he's got killers all in his division. You know, Shakur, Haney, who's 147. You know, you look at Tio, for example, Keyshawn, and then you choose to fight someone like Paul. Surely that's a concern when you do look at it like that.
Yeah, but again, it's the world we're in. If you can get huge amount of money to fight someone who's never boxed really before, you're going to do it. You know, Floyd Mayweather boxed Logan Paul with a huge weight disparity.
He was done by then.
I know,
he was done. Like, this is an active world champion.
But it's the world we're in.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. You know, when it comes down to it. It's just like Conor McGregor fighting Floyd Mayweather. Two completely different sports. Was the biggest pay-per-view in recent times, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Maybe if ever.
Those are like different comparisons, though, if you think about it. Do you not like...
Yeah, but the sport's in a wild place, isn't it? That's like, I'm just like the reality of where we are, you know. And I can't really say much when we're talking about Jake Paul fighting Anthony Joshua at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
Do you think Tank should get stripped of his title?
Yeah, I think anyone who, just in general, doesn't defend their title to do something else should get stripped, because it shouldn't hold the belts up. You know, in any, like, I think that should be the reality in anything. You know, if you're not going to defend your belts, or you're not defending, sometimes there's the rules, obviously, if you fight for a belt at a higher weight, you can retain the belt until there. But if you're not, don't have intention of defending the belts, you shouldn't hold the belts up. People should get the opportunity to fight for them.
What happened with the failed negotiations between AJ and Jake Paul?
I think anything's still possible. That was always discussed for next year. You know, this fight's November, early part of next year.
Or is this a strategic pause to protect reputations until the legal dust settles? Drop your thoughts below and stay tuned for more breaking updates on one of the most dramatic storylines in boxing right now.